All right, what the hell's going on here? One battle after another. Benjamin Shapiro.
Alrighty, folks, today we're going to be reviewing the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie, One Battle After Another, that many in the critical community is saying is the best movie of the year.
The critical community.
Nay, the best movie in 5 years, 10 years, maybe in all of human history. This video is sponsored by our friends at Express.
Already. Whatever.
VPN.
They're friends.
Alrighty, so let's go through this movie. First of all, not good, do not like, bad. The direction is top tier because it's Paul Thomas Anderson, meaning it's a beautiful looking film, it moves quickly. The music is actually quite good. The score is by Johnny Greenwood, who I'm not sure what else he has done, actually.
Other Paul Thomas Anderson films, most notably.
But I thought that the score was effective. I believe he did There Will Be Blood. So it's kind of a spare but effective score by Johnny Greenwood. The cinematography is beautiful. There is a car chase.
So far you said it's bad, but now you're listing everything that's good.
Scene near the end that is well choreographed. And the movie sucks because the writing's bad. Okay, so the entire premise of the movie.
I mean, yeah, I can handle that. The writing can bring something down a lot. I wouldn't go so far as to say like if something has bad writing, you know, that makes the movie like the worst thing ever. But
it's based on a Thomas Pynchon novel.
I guess he didn't say that, man.
Called Vineland. And when I say based on, I mean loosely related to. The basic idea of One Battle After Another, the basic plot, is that you have a person named Ghetto Pat Calhoun, who is played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and Perfidia Beverly Hills. Again, all of the names here are supposed to be on the nose, sort of slightly surrealistic, but they're not good. Like Perfidia Beverly Hills.
Okay.
Because it turns out that she's perfidious. Get it? Like Perfidia. Beverly Hills because she's too cool.
I like how much of like conservative media culture is like kind of just saying something and then going, or like rolling your eyes like, come on, really? You know, sometimes when people give me shit, they'll like hear something I said and then they'll just be like, really? And then not provide any substantive argument for like why they think it's wrong or bad.
For school, and because they actually sing the Beverly Hillbilly song at one point. Anyway, they're leaders of a revolutionary terrorist group called the French 75. And they seem like they're out of time because they really should be from like the late 1960s, but actually this part of the movie is supposed to be set some 16 years ago, so like 2008, 2009. The first scene in the movie is them raiding an ICE facility to free illegal immigrants, which turns out to be sort of the running theme here, is that
16 years ago as in like from present day, real current like existence, because it's clearly like an absurdist satire. Like 16 years ago implies that it's in this timeline, which I don't think it exists in this timeline. I think it's its own universe.
Revolutionaries, what they really do is they fight the system in order to allow unchecked migration into the United States. Why? Because they need to defeat white nationalism, white Christian nationalism. That's the basic politics of the film. So Perfidia Beverly Hills, she breaks into this ICE facility along with her explosive expert boyfriend played by Leonardo DiCaprio. She's obsessed with revolutionary violence, and also she is wildly sexually promiscuous. And so the opening scene involves her, how shall we put, asking Sean Penn's character, he's the villain, who is Colonel Stephen Lockjaw. I kid you not, again, these names are bad. And who is
I love the name Stephen Lockjaw. I have one lock for next Oscars. If there's ever to have a lock, I've already put money on it. And that is that Stephen Lockjaw is winning for Best Supporting Actor. Yeah, Sean Penn for Stephen Lockjaw is my lockjaw.
White supremacist. He's commanding the ICE facility. The opening scene is her asking him to get up, but not like to his feet. And so you get a very long shot of his crotch as he is turned on by this radical Black Panther-like terrorist.
I like how it's so weird. A lot of Ben Shapiro's criticisms, I've seen him say this about like other things too. Like what was his like wet ass P word video? Wet ass P word, right? Conservatives have this thing where they like complain about profanity or like sexuality. And they think that inherently in of itself existing in a way that is accessible to adults is like a bad thing. And so they'll just like, he'll just describe like, you did a bad sex thing. You know? Conservatives are so weird with sex and sexuality. You did a sex thing. And then not explain why that's a bad thing. And it's like, yeah, well, adults can watch other adults do weird sex things if they want, you know? Is there a reason why you think it's bad? You should explain it.
And so it turns out that he becomes obsessed with her. And so he ends up tracking her down. He lets her go after she agrees to go to a motel and have sex with him. For some reason, she keeps that commitment, which is strange. Anyway, she has like a BDSM relationship with Lockjaw. So she's bombing things with Leonardo DiCaprio, and she's getting pregnant by Sean Penn, who's playing this.
This is a lot of just describing things that happened in a tone where you're like, this is bad, without explaining why it's bad.
Uptight white Christian nationalist who is turned on by black female revolutionaries. Get it? Because white Christian nationalists really, they have a sadomasochistic relationship with black female revolutionaries. In any case, she gets pregnant.
Is that a bad thing to have in your film? Like a white nationalist that is like fetishizing black people? Like that exists in real life too. And I don't even think the film said all of them do that because spoilers, because this is getting into spoilers. So spoilers, like, doesn't Sean Penn's character get punished for like having a child with a... Like, doesn't he wind up getting like killed for that? So, like, clearly it's not saying that's even the case for all of them, right? I guess it's like, oh, they're all supposed to do it but not have a baby, maybe? Like, but, like... Yeah, didn't he have to, like, lie about it and say that he never... Or that, like, she... Whatever.
There's a shot from the film that you've seen of her very heavily pregnant, firing off what looks like an M4. And the idea...
That's a great shot, by the way. That's awesome.
Is she's a true revolutionary, right? The freedom is in her belly. And at one point she says that the gun is for fun, but her genitalia, that is for fighting. She ends up being caught in the middle of a bank robbery. And...
Again, okay, it's been a few minutes. You haven't really described anything that's wrong with the movie, which is hilarious. You haven't described... The most that we've gotten out of your criticism is that you think the names are bad.
She gives up...
This is a third... Sorry, this is a quarter... Yeah, you know what? It's closer to a third because the sponsorship's going to be in here somewhere. This is a third through your video.
The group in order to go free, and then she is supposed to go into witness protection, and instead she escapes to Mexico. You never see her again for the rest of the movie, so that's just kind of left open. Anyway, fast forward 16 years. Her husband, Ghetto Pat Calhoun, calls himself Bob, and he's a loser who smokes weed all day, and he is raising the person he thinks is their daughter, but who is actually the daughter of this white nationalist colonel. They are living in a sanctuary city called Backton Cross, and Willa, his daughter, this is the daughter, she is a spirited teenager who, as it turns out, is into revolutionary violence.
This seems like a very forced review to make. Like, when you're making something where all you're doing is just, like, trying your best to describe the plot, and that's like the meat of your video, it means like you're not really saying anything. You know? You're kind of just like forcing one out. Because, I don't know. My level of like a litmus test for how culturally relevant a film is if like Ben Shapiro reviews it. Like, because he's not really here to talk about movies. Right? He's here to propagandize. He's here to say things that support his worldview. Right? So when he goes out and sees the Barbie movie, he's leeching on to an existing successful thing that people are talking about. Right? He leeches on to existing conversations that are already getting traction. Right? Yeah. So like, of course, this one's a little forced because it's a really good movie.
Violence along with some of her gender non-binary blue-haired friends. And there are a couple...
Plural. I mean, there was only one.
Jokes here at the expense of the gender non-binary blue-haired friends, but mostly at the expense of out-of-touch old Bob, who doesn't understand why somebody would be gender non-binary. And they're...
So, who cares? Like, what are you talking about? Does that not exist in real life? Is that not a person that you can show in a thing?
A couple of humorous moments where Bob, again, Leonardo DiCaprio, he is trying to call into the revolutionary group, because what happens is that Stephen Lockjaw is trying to join a white nationalist group, a white Christian nationalist group called the Christmas Adventurers Club. I know, this is so stupid. The whole thing's it's such a stupid...
It's funny how he's like, it's so stupid not understanding, like, the humor of it. Like, it's okay if you don't think it's funny. It's okay if you don't think it's funny, but it seems like he doesn't even understand that, like, the absurdist nature is a humorous one. It seems he doesn't understand that it's supposed to be funny. Right?
Movie. It's so dumb. Okay, and they decide they're not going to let him in because he might have a black daughter. And so he decides he's going to track down the black daughter and kill her so he can get into the white Christian nationalist club. As one would, he decides to lead a raid on Backton Cross, the sanctuary city, to track down, in reality, his daughter. Meanwhile, Bob is looking for his daughter. And in order to find his daughter, he ends up teaming up with Benicio del Toro.
We're like almost halfway through the video.
Who plays a karate teacher and community leader named Sergio St. Carlos, who's a sensei. And who, again, is funny in a sort of oddball kind of Wes Anderson kind of way. Everything Benicio del Toro plays now is like too cute by half. So anyway, he's the leader of an underground railroad for illegal immigrants who are all staying in this facility nearby and who are also engaged with skateboarding terrorists straight out of...
I want to see it again so bad.
The Kyle Rittenhouse situation, and he's the big hero.
It might be the first like day one 4K Blu-ray that I buy in a long time. For like a new movie, usually I wait like a while. I'll like wait for the price to go down. But this is one where I'm like, based PTA, want it to be super fucking successful. You know, want to watch it again right away. You know,
Benicio del Toro, who's going to help out Bob, but also help out the illegal immigrants while this raid is going on. Okay, we'll get to more of this in just a moment.
Fuck you! Right, when's it over?
/BenYT to get up to 4 extra months by scanning that QR code on screen or clicking at the link. In the meantime, Colonel Stephen Lockjaw, who's with the daughter, decides that he can't kill the daughter himself. Apparently that is beyond his scruples. And so he decides that he is going to hand her off to a Native American bounty hunter named Avanti Q. So Avanti Q, who's this Native American murderer, but it says he won't kill the daughter. So Stephen Lockjaw says to him, I want you to take the daughter.
Did you just like read the wiki's plot summary and like that's what you're doing? Like, what are you even doing?
To wait for it, another white nationalist group like bikers, and they will kill her. And the Native American's like, totally fine. So cool. So he puts her in the back of the car, he drives her there, he gives her up. But don't worry. For all of those who are worried that there might be a person of color.
What is the point of this?
In this film, who's on the wrong side. No. He ends up turning on the white nationalists when he realizes that the white nationalists are bad people about to kill the black girl. Now, he could have realized that in the car and not dropped her off. But instead, he ends up dying.
I gotta go back. What the hell are you talking about?
He won't kill the daughter. So Stephen Lockjaw, who's with the daughter, decides that he can't kill the daughter himself. Apparently that is beyond his scruples. And so he decides that he is going to hand her off to a Native American bounty hunter named Avanti Q. So Avanti Q, who's this Native American murderer, but says he won't kill the daughter. So Stephen Lockjaw says to him, I want you to take the daughter to, wait for it, another white nationalist group like bikers, and they will kill her. And the Native American's like, totally fine. So cool. So he puts her in the back of the car, he drives her there, he gives her up. But don't worry. For all of those who are worried that there might be a person of color in this film who's on the wrong side, no. He ends up
when the enemies are like white nationalists, you would probably assume like that the person of color would not be the white nationalist also, but you know.
Turning on the white nationalist when he realizes that the white nationalists are bad people about to kill the black girl. Now, he could have realized that in the car and not dropped her off, but instead he ends up dying heroically in order to save her by killing the entire white nationalist biker group. And so he dies. She grabs the car. There's a car chase involving another member of the original Christmas Adventurers Club who's trying to track her down and kill her in order to cover up, I guess, for the fact that Stephen Lockjaw has a biracial daughter. And so the Christmas Adventurers Club guy kills Stephen Lockjaw.
What is this whole fucking video? It's so annoying.
Sort of, but not quite. He shoots him in the face, but he lives. And then
I like how nobody likes Ben Shapiro and he's still producing videos. Who likes him? Nobody likes him. Nobody likes him. Like, I guess just like other people at the Daily Wire. Oh. Okay, no, yeah, they've had a few collaborations. I was just kind of curious because I seem to remember something like this. No, yeah, they seem like pals. No, yeah, but otherwise, like, nobody likes him. Like, nobody fucking likes this guy. Like, not even conservatives.
And that's the whole film. At the very end, Stephen Lockjaw lives, but he goes to the Christmas Adventurers Club, and they effectively euthanize him.
It's so weird. Like, who's he making videos for?
And they say, we're going to let you in, and they put him in an office and they gas him to death. And that's the end of the movie, except that you get a tag. And the tag at the end of the movie is, Willa gets a letter. She's had a letter from her mom that her dad's been hiding. And she reads the letter, and the letter doesn't actually tell her to maybe lead a better life than she led, or to abandon these revolutionary idiots who are accomplishing nothing. Instead, the letter says that she wishes she had been a better mom, but also she wishes that she had fought the revolution better. And the daughter decides that she too will be a revolutionary. And the end of the movie is Bob, who's now permissive with his daughter, giving her a thumbs up as she goes to perform revolutionary activity. If this sounds like a total mess to you, it's because it is. It is an ideological mess, but it's more than a mess. It's actually quite ideological.
What do you mean ideological mess? Like, does every movie have to, like, give you an easy answer for like what you're supposed to say or do or like how you're supposed to behave? Like, is every movie supposed to like literally endorse behaviors? I don't know.
Yeah. The basic suggestion is a conspiracy theory in which the United States is run by white supremacist Christian nationalists, and all people of color and a few nice, incompetent fellow travelers like Bob are going to take on that entire system. And that system must be taken on at the cost of family, at the cost of friendship, at the cost of decency, at the cost of basic human capacity for success. It is better, in other words, to be a complete loser who wastes your life bombing things randomly in order to free illegal immigrants to run willy-nilly across the border.
What do you mean better? What do you mean better? Like, what are you talking about? They showed a character. This isn't like, oh, yes, everyone in the audience, this is how you're supposed to live your lives. Yes. Is that, I mean, yeah, that is why conservatives hate seeing queer people in movies, is because they think that like a movie existing is like an endorsement or like a blueprint, or like maybe they just see literally everything as like the type of propaganda that they enjoy creating, you know?
than to be like a productive citizen of that society. At no point is that actually considered by anyone, by the way. Like just to be a productive citizen of society. Because the society, as we know, is run by white Christian nationalists. So in other words, when I've talked about permission structures, and I've talked about permission structures for violence that led to, for example, the murder of Charlie Kirk. And what I've said about those permission structures is that they basically...
That is my own sperm.
Create ideologies. These ideologies are bad because they include three components. One, a conspiratorial view of the universe in which a shadowy cabal of powerful people are responsible for your problems in life and the problems of the world. Two, a belief that your specific group is being targeted. And three, a belief that violence is justified in self-defense. That's this entire film. This entire film is that. There's a conspiratorial group of white Christian nationalists who are targeting people of color. Those people of color have to band together along with a few moron fellow travelers like Bob in order to take on that conspiracy. And they should bomb things and they should kill people and they should do terror.
He's saying the word should so much. The movie never said you should do anything. Like, what are we talking about here? What? Is Ben Shapiro like kind of just saying like, oh yeah, Charlie Kirk was a member of the Christian Christmas Adventurers, and that's this type of movie is why he died? Is that what he's saying? Is he saying he's saying like all of my friends are basically the level of like Nazi minus one factor for myself that is being portrayed in this film as the villain, and the good guys are being portrayed as fighting against them. We can't have a society that teaches you should fight against white nationalism. What are we talking about here? If you watched like fucking like Star Wars, your favorite movie, and that came out today or whatever, would you be saying like, well, obviously the Emperor is all of my friends and conservatives? I don't like this. Like, what are we talking about here? Obviously the bad guys are people that act like me.
Terrible things. And say radical things while doing it. I'm in search of subtlety here. I do not understand, honest to God, I do not understand the attempts by some to say that this is a subtle movie in any way. It has the subtlety of a brick. And there have been some people...
Who said it's subtle?
At the Washington Post, for example, in the Washington Post entertainment section, who try to draw a different moral from this. One writer, for example, says, quote, one battle after another shifts the paranoid nightmare of Nixon-era political extremism to our...
You talked about morals that, like, you described you said the names are stupid, and then described the plot going like, I'm describing the plot in this voice. And now you're just talking about morals. You didn't say anything about the fucking movie other, like, the only shit you said about the filmmaking, you said was good.
Burnt powder keg moment in a way that helps us process it. Yes, it could get that bad again, and this is what it would look like. In its most outrageous plot point, it can't get fair between opposite camp radicals. Anderson brings the horseshoe theory of politics to life. Of course, the wackiest right-winger and the looniest leftist fall into bed with each other. Who else can match their violent intensity? Anderson also offers us hope, though, in the calm at the center. The sweet relationship between the chilled-out dad who has lost his political fervor and the teenage daughter who's finding her own capable way. Yeah, except at the very end. You might think that's where it's going. That's not where it goes. At the very end, it takes a hard left and goes directly into she should be a radical, just like mommy was. Right? So, again, all these writers are trying to find something there that isn't there, or they are softly justifying all of this. Well, one writer named Haben Kaladi says in the Washington Post, it's about hope. One of the last characters we hear from is Perfidia. Reading from a letter she wrote in exile to her daughter Willa, she asks, will you try to change the world?
What are we
before adding, we failed, but maybe you will not, right? That's the line. Maybe you should be a revolutionary. And in the very last scene, a revolutionary daughter is following her mother's sacrificial footsteps despite everything we've been seeing in the past 3 hours. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like,
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine, like, having to pretend to be, like, incredulously kind of, like, just, like, oh, I'm morally disgusted at everything. Like, this is, like, how his TikTok reactions go. He's like, queer people.
We've been seeing in the past 3 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Like,
what the fuck is wrong with it? That's the gayest shit I've ever seen. I'm sorry, dude. That's the gayest.
Again, you can make excuses for it, but basically the thing's an apologia for radical left-wing terrorism. That's what it is. And any attempts to paint it as more complex than that, I think are overdoing it. Alrighty, so there is your review of One Battle After Another by Paul Thomas Anderson. Again, Leonardo DiCaprio is good, he's a good actor. Benicio del Toro, fine. Tiana Taylor is Perfidia, she's a talented actress. It's all fine, except for Sean Penn as Lockjaw, who kind of stinks. But
whoa, what? Sean Penn as Lockjaw stinks? What about it? What about it? I guess he doesn't like absurdism. I guess he just doesn't like absurdism in media. That would be the only reason I could think of for, like, because, like, that role was, like, absurdist, exaggerated. Like, yeah, Ben just wants
a bad movie all around. Like, shit.
Star Wars.
Shape of Water style bad movie. It's a little surprising
Shape
for
of
Paul Thomas
Water
Anderson,
bad.
who's sort of stayed away from the overtly political for a while. And again, I really like some of Paul Thomas Anderson.
Stayed away from the overtly political. And you've said that you've seen There Will Be Blood. What do you mean? What are you talking about? There's a lot of politics in that movie. Even if you didn't notice it. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Movies. I think that There Will Be Blood is a terrific film, even though, again, I think the
What did...
politics tends toward the left. It's very anti-religion and also anti-capitalism. And I think
Okay, thank you. You've recognized that it's political.
Master is really maybe his best movie, which is about the power of sort of cult and the draw of cults. But this is it's just bad. It's not good. Will this win?
The two movies you just mentioned are just as political as One Battle After Another.
Academy Awards? It'll win all the Academy Awards because this is what Hollywood wants. Left-wing agitprop from high-powered directors.
Okay, let's see what Ben's audience thinks. Ben is a failed screenwriter and he's saying the writing is bad. True. Clicked on this to rage bait myself and stayed for the comments. The score was by Johnny Greenwood. I'm not sure what else he's done wrong.
Kamikaze Short Bus for rating with 121 viewers.
Thank you so much, Kamikaze Short Bus. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. We're reading some comments on Ben Shapiro's One Battle After Another thing. My favorite part is when Ben says we shouldn't worry because no POC is going to be presented as bad. When we clearly see Perfida as an awful person in many ways. Ben Shapiro reviewing PTA is like watching my dog play the violin. That's funny. Wow, this is one of the most brutal comment sections I've seen in a long time. Well done, guys. Why am I rage baiting myself with this shit? That's funny. Johnny Greenwood scored all of PTA's recent movies and is a founding member of Radiohead. True. Yep. Ben saying the Christmas Adventurers Club is a stupid name for a white nationalist group, while the most famous real white nationalist supremacist group literally call people exalted cyclops and their leader a grand wizard. That's actually true. It's very true. Ben Shapiro is a real-life member of the Christmas Adventurers Club. That's funny. Why does Ben insist on talking about movies, something he's obviously had a lot of feelings but knows few facts about? Oh, wait, I just got it. Media literacy is dead. Never seen Shapiro comments so bad since the United Health CEO situation. Yeah, I mean, like, nobody seems to like Ben Shapiro at this point. Like, nobody's really watching him other than to just, like, hate watch him at this point.
Hey everybody, Olivia here. It's November of 2025, and here are my $5 and up patrons. Michael Bradley, Ditzy Saltz, Rumsfeld, and Letterbox, Jordan A, Toby White, Blank, Anchor Helix, Arc Helix, Anchor Wolf, Arc Helix, Clarice Carlson, Cypress, D the Rabbit, Electrio so bad at games that he used a broken control stick to beat Sans Undertale, Emil, Gabriel Herrera, Gezro, Happy the Knife, Lemonade Warriors participating in the hit game Among Us and is considered the Encroacher, Lobsterite, Mitzi Marcella, Modern Nerd, Oh Here She Comes, Osmond, Roxy's Inside Your Walls. You can lure her out with information on when the second season of the TED TV series is releasing. Sliv88, Skanat On, The Flying Marlin, The Super One Player, T King, www.openclassactions.com, Fox64, Yep, and Zachary Kane. So recently the channel hasn't really been doing all that well due to a lengthy break that we had to take at one point. Unfortunately, YouTube's algorithm is making the videos not appear quite as often in people's feeds. So to help us out, please like, subscribe, comment, and turn on the upload notifications by clicking the little bell icon. In other news, the first part of the Castlevania collab I did with Loud Equals Funny is available on YouTube now, so please check it out. Well, before we continue, let's talk at length about the box art. Not the USA box art. The Japanese box art.
If you scroll up a bit, it's the second one that I posted.
This is
incredible
artwork.
We have Castlevania.
Awesome.
We have Castlevania over here in blue. No, Simon's wearing blue armor. Dracula has really long, thin fangs and looks like fucking James Gandolfini. There's another Simon swinging across a chandelier
Okay.
holding a candle.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I was looking at the American box art first.
Yeah.
I gotta say, you would expect the Japanese to be a lot better.
Yeah, I know,
The
right?
American box art is great. I love the American box
The
art.
American
but
box art
then-
is
and
one of
then
my
you look-
favorites.
It actually fucks so much.
I love the little shitty Simon whip jumping across the fucking chandelier. That's great.
So I love.
And the Dracula too. Look at his
Oh,
stupid gormless fucking face.
Look at
Guys.
look at the minions of evil over here watching not Dracula, watching Simon swing from
I
the
was-
chandelier.
They're like,
I was
"Damn,
gonna
shit!"
say.
Take care.